Hello and welcome to Mabinda TV. This is home of Compassionate Conservatism, where we advocate for a fine balance, a sweet spot between individual creative genius excellence, as afforded by capitalism, and society excellence, as afforded by equality of opportunity. So, in essence, we are calling for capitalism with a human first, that is, capitalism with a human first. So, for now, I'll start with ideas, and in ideas, I'm asking, is the college degree really worth it? That is the college degree really worth it? I think a lot of Americans, a lot of people around the world really viewed the college degree as the path to success. Basically, if you had a college degree, then you could be able to get a good job and be on the upward socioeconomic mobility. But so that you could earn more than your parents, so you could be in a higher wealth bracket than your parents. But now it appears that the college degree, after all, it is not really worth it. And of course, this comes also in the work of the debate of whether the arts and humanities really confer on someone an ability to earn a good job, good money post graduation. So, do you think a college degree is really worth it? And you had some, like the former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, arguing that basically you have had someone like the former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, arguing that basically we should do away with the college degree as a prerequisite for hiring a company. And I think some big companies such as I think Microsoft and Apple and I think also Amazon have eliminated the college degree, and I think also Google have eliminated the college degree as a requirement that basically you need a college degree in order to get a job in this company. So basically, they are eliminating the college degree and they are preferring to hire. They are preferring to hire more skills based, and I think this is going to be the new trend of hiring. Maybe there will be more skills based hiring where you will be assessed based on your skills. Of course, someone says that basically a college degree is about academic. It's not about the skill that you have. So, for instance, if you go to a college, basically what you'll be doing is lots of academic theories, but you will not be getting the hands-on practical skills. So, non-degree pathways, maybe such as certifications, degree certifications, especially these are very popular, especially in the computer science field. These are very popular, especially in the computer science field, where basically a lot of programmers did not go to college, but they self-train and they go to this. Some of them, many of them self-train, or some of them go to these certification classes, and they get maybe a programming language, let's say in Python, a programming language in C++, or in Java, or in C. So they are able to program without necessarily going to a fancy college. So this is going to be the path for someone that really wants to go to college, and I think this could be the new pathways because obviously, and the reason is that it is getting very expensive to go to college. I think it is getting very, very expensive to go to college. A lot of, I think Americans are reeling under $1.6 trillion in debt in college student debt. So you can imagine that amount is very, very high. And to add on to that, they are not getting very good jobs in order to pay off their debts. If you want to go to medical school, then I think you can expect a college debt of over $250,000. I think in the top colleges such as Harvard, you expect that you'll be able, for a professional degree program such as medicine, you expect you will cost about $250,000, and I think also in business school. And many are wondering whether it is really worth it to be able to incur all that student debt in order to go to college. And maybe that is why we need more certifications. I would argue that we need more certifications. And I think the difference, you could learn anything in college, really. You could learn anything in college. Anything you could learn anything in college on your own, but what the college does, what a degree does, is that it proves that you went to class, you attended the classes, you did an exam, and you had an aptitude. Of course, an aptitude, understanding the concept of the class, is measured by the grade in which you got. Although that in many sometimes is not true at all, because it all depends on the lecturer that taught you that class. So basically, if you had a good lecturer, then you are likely. If you had a good lecturer, then you are likely to get an A in that class. Or if you had a bad lecturer, then you are likely to fail that class. So you can imagine. So that is the purpose of going to a class. That is the purpose of going to college. It arranges what you learned. It arranges what you learned. It organizes that information into a grade, and that is the way an employer is able to tell. But of course, an employer is not able to tell if you taught yourself programming. They are not able to tell whether you really learned anything at all. And maybe there should be more ways for an employer. I think this onus falls on the employers to be able to, maybe craft ways in which you can be able they can measure your aptitude without necessarily the grade. And I think this has maybe through apprenticeship, and I think they should be able to measure your skills through certification, through maybe having a moot apprenticeship, or maybe just having other ways to assess your skills. And I think if employers come on board and are able to assess your skills, then they can hire more non-college degree students. And I think this will expand the ways in which people can ascend the economic ladder, because by and large poor families, poor people, poor students are not able to get to the fancy colleges many times. Of course, the universities are trying this. Fancy colleges such as Harvard and Yale, I think for parents that earn under $75,000, they don't contribute in anything to their children's cost of enrollment. So they are really trying to make these universities, these colleges, these fancy colleges, are really trying to make education free, to make their colleges free to attend. And I think, but that is not going far enough. I think other ways we can do that. We can increase our socio-economic mobility is by ensuring that basically if you go to a good enough college, then basically you are able to, if you go to a non-traditional path towards your career, you are able to be hired by companies. They will be able to test your skills, and I think especially in the computer science field, I'm not sure about the other fields, but in the computer science field, I think people who self-taught themselves, I think people such as the Facebook founder, Mark Zuckerberg, I don't think he learned all that computer science at Harvard. I think some of it he learned on his own. Look at someone like Bill Gates. I think he learned most of the computer by his own, I think in the lecture school in his high school. So I think you can teach yourself some of these practical skills, and I think that is the way. And I think really that is the way you can. I think really that is the way you can teach yourself some of these skills, so that we have a non-traditional path to getting a job, so that we can complement, so that it is not only academic theories that we are going to test in college. And I think this could shorten the professional ladder, because right now everyone assumes if you are hired fresh out of college, everyone assumes that you have no skills. So basically they start you on the lower end, but because if you have skills, then you could jump some steps and go straight into middle management. But basically if you come straight out of college, they assume that you don't have the necessary skills. So that is the disadvantage of going to college. Sometimes everyone assumes that you don't have the necessary skills. So that is it about going to college. So do you think the college degree today is really worth it? That is, do you think the college degree today is really worth it? So that's it about ideas for now. And in the Making America, I'm asking do you think the Republican Party is broken? Do you think the Republican Party is broken? So right now you have this three-way split within the Republican Party. So you have the Orthodox Trumpists; these are the die-hard Trump supporters. Those who will take a bullet for Donald Trump any day. Then you have, then in the middle are the hybrid Republicans. These are those people that have accepted the reign of Donald Trump within the Republican Party, but they want him to trim his rough edges. They want him to trim his rough edges, and of course, then you have. They have accepted the reign of Donald Trump within the Republican Party, but they want him to round off his rough edges. They want him to mute his low vibrational energy. They say, yes, Donald Trump, you are good for the party, especially on the economy. And in the economy, especially in the economy, in the middle class, they think Donald Trump is the right person to revive the middle class. But they argue that Donald Trump now you need to dump down on your other rough edges. Maybe you should be accommodative of minorities. You should be accommodative of minorities and not go hard about them. And maybe people have said that if the Republican Party is to win future elections, it has lost 7 of the last 8 presidential elections in terms of the popular vote. So this is not a very good prospect for the Republican Party. It has lost 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. And so if the Republican Party is to be the party of choice, is to win again, it has to attract minorities, especially among black. Only 5%, the Republican Party enjoys only 5% of support among the Republican Party enjoys only 5% of support among blacks, and maybe that should be increased to 30-40%, and maybe for Latinos to be increased to 50-60%. So I think so you have the middle Republicans. These are the hybrid or the middle of the road Republicans who have accepted Donald Trump, but they want him to mute his low vibrational energy. They want him to round off his rough edges. Yes, he's good on the economy, but he needs to do those things in order to maybe position the party to attract other people that are completely freak out on how Donald Trump carries himself. And then, of course, there are the establishment Republicans. These are the deep policy hawks. The Bushes, the people that consider the likes of the Bushes, the Reagans, are their prophets, are their modern prophets. So, of course, you have the establishment folks, people like Mitt Romney, people like Paul Ryan, whom Donald Trump ran over, and of course, they consider that Donald Trump took over their party and turned it into a personality cult. So, for these people, they consider the Republican Party as the party that Donald Trump took over, and then the party that Donald Trump took over and then ran over, and then basically Donald Trump ran over and then basically turned it into a personality cult. And I don't think they are amused. I don't think they are really amused by what Donald Trump did. I don't think they are really amused. And so this is the pathway for the Republican Party. This three-way split within the Republican Party. That is the Orthodox Trumpists, those who say Donald Trump is God sent for the Republican Party. Donald Trump is their prophet after Ronald Reagan, and maybe even could approach the stature of Abraham Lincoln, of course, one of the founders of the Republican Party. So they say Donald Trump is God sent for the Republican Party. He will steer the Republican Party to a good cause. So that is the Orthodox Trumpists. Then the hybrid Republicans, they have accepted the reign of Donald Trump, but they want him to trim his rough edges. And of course, then you have the Orthodox Trumpists. These are the Republicans who have the Orthodox Trumpists. These are the Republicans who have then you have the establishment Republicans. These are the policy hawks, the deep policy hawks, the ones that maybe believe that Donald Trump really took their party, turned it over, revolutionized them, not revolutionized, either actually made the Republican Party have a turn for the worse and basically turned it into a personality cult. So that's it for remaking. That's it for remaking America right now. That is what you think about the civil war within the Republican Party right now. That is between the three arms of the Republican. But of course, it's not a problem of the Republican Party only. I think also The Democrats also have their own civil war. You have the progressives and the corporate centrists, but that is a topic for another day. But for now, I think that how do you think the civil war within the Republican Party can be mended? That is, how do you think the civil war within the Republican Party can be mended so that it for and that's it for for remaking America. For now, I look at how do you think the Republican Party can be mended? How can it achieve unity? And basically, we need a Republican Party that functions because, frankly, I think they have great ideas on how to run America. The Republican Party, because they believe in individual dynamism, where everyone everyone is brought to the same starting lineup, or that is about equality of opportunity, where everyone is brought to the same starting lineup, and then the differences can be explained by innate talent, by rare gifts, rare talents, by hard work, so that you get ahead by your hard work, so that it how I think the Republican Party can function. So they have great ideas, and I think, frankly, when the Republican Party does well, America does well. I think the age of prosperity is brought about by the Republican Party, but the modern Republican Party is on its death knell, and that is why we need to revive this shift to the far right, this shift towards making the Republican Party a personality cult. I think it really needs to end, and I think we need a Republican Party really that can be that really can fashion a new way for America, and then for Africa perspective, I'm asking, can Africa claim the 21st century? It has been claimed that the 21st century will be the Asian century. That is, it has been claimed that the 21st century will be the Asian century. But can it also be the African century? I think many people believe that the 21st century will be the Asian century. Look at China and India. China is almost overtaking the United States as the world's largest economy. Of course, in terms of the per capita incomes, it is still a developed. China still considers itself as a developing country. It considers itself as the leader of the developing world. But in terms of the overall GDP, never mind about its population, never mind about China's population. It has 1.5 billion people. Of course, it needs much more GDP than the United States to achieve the same standards of living. But in terms of the absolute GDP, it is a superpower. And it is on the breakneck of overtaking the United States as the world's largest economy. So China is about to overtake the United States as the world's largest economy. I think that last was in the 16th or the 17th century, and then its neighbor India, and now China is the manufacturing shop of the world. Everything else these days is manufactured. Everything else these days is manufactured in. Everything else these days is manufactured in China. So you can imagine that basically China is the manufacturing shop of the world. And so that creates a lot of jobs for China, and of course makes its economy to run smoothly. And then of course you look at its neighbor India, the service shop of the world. 1 billion people. You can imagine that India is the service shop of the world, the back-end factory of the world, where your customer care, the customer care you call likely is not in the United States. The customer care you call likely is in India. So you can imagine that these two countries, China and India, how populated the world. Then of course you can throw in the Asian tiger, South Korea, Japan, South Korea, and maybe Thailand, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and of course their stories are well known. They rose from poverty to prosperity in a generation. Of course, the leaders such as Lee Kuan Yew are case studies in how a leader can turn their countries from poverty to prosperity, such as Lee Kuan Yew. There are case studies on how there really are case studies on how you can turn a country from poverty to prosperity. That is Lee Kuan Yew. That is developing Singapore from a poor port city to a 21st century financial center of the world. And I think in that case, of course, Lee Kuan Yew used many aspects of a Western model of development. But of course, remember, he was also an authoritarian. That is, Lee Kuan Yew was an authoritarian. He was not just a Democrat, but also was an authoritarian. But at least they say he was a benevolent dictator. That is, Lee Kuan Yew was a benevolent dictator. So that is it about China. So and I think a lot of Asian countries. So you have a lot of success stories in Asia, and I think China and India alone are producing about 2/3 of the world's science and engineering PhDs. That is, China and India are producing about 2/3 of the world's engineering PhDs. So how can Africa then claim the 21st century? I think Africa just needs to fix its leadership. I think Africa needs to fix its leadership. It needs to be able to have leaders that basically will fight for Africa, leaders that basically will be able to Africa needs leaders that will be able to basically have the heart of their people. Basically, a lot of African leaders, yes, they are dictators, but they are not like the Asian dictators. They deny their people political freedoms, but also not just political freedom. They deny their people also economic prosperity. So you can't be a dictator, yes, but don't deny your people both political and economic freedom. At least if you deny them political freedom, then give them economic freedoms, but that is not what African dictators are doing. They are denying their people both political and economic freedom. That is not what the Asian tigers are doing, or that is not what the Asian dictators did, or maybe the Middle East kings are doing. They deny their people political freedoms, but they give their people economic rights. And I think for African dictators, they deny their people both the political freedoms and also the economic rights. So the people are both oppressed politically but also very poor. So this is a very sad indictment on the dictators in Africa. And I think if that doesn't change, then African leaders, Africa can't kiss goodbye. Then we will stay. Africa will still be poor in this century, and I think that is not a very good thing for us right now. That's not a very good thing, and I think that needs to change for now. So that's it for now. So that's about Africa perspective. Everyone thinks that the 21st century will be the Asian century, but can it also be the African century? So that's it. Then I will move over to Heart and Soul, and in Heart and Soul, I'm asking what does it mean to have faith that moves mountains. In Heart and Soul, I'm asking what does it mean to have faith that moves mountains. So basically, to have faith that moves mountains means basically that you have so much faith that basically you don't even see the obstacles ahead. You just power on, you soldier on. And I think according to the Bible, the father of faith was Abraham. Remember, Abraham was told he would be the father of many nations, and even as he was told he would be the father of many nations, at that time he didn't have his own child. Of course, he had a child with Ibrahim. I think he had a child with Ishmael, a child with his servant, but I think he did not have a child with his wife. And Sarah, I think Sarah was 90 years old or thereabouts. So how does someone how does God tell you that how do you become a father of many nations, and yet you don't have a child of your own through your wife? And so this is what bothered Abraham the most. But of course, he was told them that basically his children, his descendants will be like the stars. They will be like the sand in the sea. And I think that is what we need to and I think that is what we basically need to know about Abraham, that he was told he will be a father of many nations. So today, as you face many obstacles, as someone faces many obstacles, there are so many challenges in the world today. Someone wants to do something, they don't have the money, they don't have the money to start something. But then you have this group of people, they are living like us, they are like us. But where others see darkness, they only see a light. So how is it that some people, even when they are faced with the same conditions, turn around and then basically come over, they turn around and basically come over and basically achieve unpalatable goals, achieve really goals beyond our dreams. So why is it that some people see light where others only see darkness? And so maybe I am really perturbed as to how some people turn difficulties, turn obstacles into realities, turn obstacles into absolute success stories. You both in the Bible and I think also in the outside world. Why is it that some people really are able to really turn obstacles and really create real success stories? And I think that is something really that intrigues me. So how do you think some people can really turn obstacles into, how do you think some people turn obstacles into real success stories? So that's it for now. This has been 4 episodes where I brought you that is basically ideas. Where I looked at the college degree and whether it is really worth it. Then I moved over to Remaking America, where I looked at the implosion within the Republican Party and how the Republican Party can achieve unity, how it can be mended. And then basically the third segment I looked at. In the third segment, I looked at basically in the third segment, I looked at basically Africa perspectives, where I said even though where I stated that even though everyone believes that the 21st century will be the Asian century, but can it also be the African century? And in the fourth segment, I looked at what in heart and soul, what does it mean to have faith that moves mountains? So that's it for now. That's it for now. Till the next episode. Bye for now. So till the next episode. Bye for now.